A magnificent day in Melbourne for the grand final of 2006, and it's going magnificently well for West Coast to have a handsome 25-point lead at half-time, 8-7-55 to 4-6-30. As we have a look at some of these stats at half-time, Robert Walls and Malcolm Blight.
Well, the interesting one there is the handballs and the disposals. Disposals, they've had 76 more disposals, West Coast Eagles. They're 25 points in front. And also have a look at the hit-outs, and you can just see that is a domination. Darren Jolly needs to lift his output. He's only had the 2 disposals. Dean Cox has had 13. But, Malcolm, you've got to say that Sydney have had the week off through the finals campaign. They haven't had to travel as much as the West Coast Eagles. Barry Hall hasn't kicked a goal, and players like Goods and Jude Bolton down on their normal output. So there's a big room for improvement with this Sydney team.
Oh, there absolutely is, Rob. And the other one on those stats was the clangers. You know, we've spoken a lot about just little fumbles and misses. Sydney 34 to 22, and 12 in a game of football in a grand final means about 50 metres every clanger nearly. You give it back to the opposition, it's about 600 metres, which equates to about 4 goals.
Just need to have Sydney, for Sydney to win this game, they need to make ground in the third quarter. If they can outscore the Eagles 2 goals to 3, we've got a real game on our hands. Let's not forget, West Coast Eagles involved in a gutbuster last week in Adelaide.
As we start the third quarter, with the Eagles 25 points ahead of the Swans. Cox has dominated, got first hand on that one, and got the handball away. Fletcher mowed down, hacked off the ground by Stenglein. Judd leads the race, picked up sensationally. Left foot kick into the pocket to Lynch, out in front of Barry. Judd follows it up, he's tackled, keeps the ball alive though. Now Kennelly, he's under pressure, got it over to Richards, to Goods, back to Kennelly, and the Irishman goes for a little bit of a run as he kicks to the wing, and it's a good pass as he finds Schneider. Shocking handball to himself in the end. Got to tackle, umpire let that one go. Now Kennelly again, he's mowed down. Great tackling by the West Coast Eagles. Soccer off the ground to half forward. Hall's there against Glass. Boy, have they had a battle. There's Big Lynch down at half back. Fired it out to Weir Punda. Now gives it to Braun, and the Eagles on the rebound, but he's run down. Great tackle, free kick going to the Swans, taken by Schneider.
Team lifting stuff from Schneider. Suddenly he's been told to play on. Positive start by the Swans, still making a few mistakes, but they are looking better. They're more with it now. O'Keefe sets it fly. Gee, it was a funny old kick. O'Loughlin made the call, stayed behind, and he might get the rewards. Fletcher can't stop in, and O'Loughlin puts it through. He's got 3.
The Michael Broad run down on the wing is what cost the Eagles the goal, and just a terrific effort there by Schneider. He's come from 15 metres behind to put that tackle on. That's typical Sydney, and then they've taken advantage with the push forward. Good unselfish play by Barry Hall to set up O'Loughlin for his 3rd goal. And just a magnificent, desperate tackle by Adam Schneider to run down Michael Braun. Bad awareness by Braun, cost the Eagles a goal. Sydney back in the hunt.
The all-important first goal of the third quarter goes Sydney's way, but it's a free kick going against Jolly. It's going to Cox as he gives the handball off to Kerr. Takes the ball out to the members' wing.
Oh, you're beautiful.
Goes back inside. Thank you, Malcolm. I like you too. Cousins to Brett Jones, in trouble. A wild kick.
Don't you love players who back themselves?
Just knows how to play the game.
Well, they've got some firepower in the middle, haven't they, the Eagles, when Cox is dominating in the air, and Kerr, the so-called 3rd midfielder this year, has gained some ground in the eyes of everyone in the football world.
Jolly coming off, runner's been out there.
Ted Richards in the back pocket.
This is, I think, where they're most dangerous. When they run from the back line like this.
Now,
that is just
downfield.
Unnecessary by Stevie.
To the ground.
He didn't need to put the bump on.
So Dempster dumped, and Schneider suddenly, it's looking much better for the Swans. Hall, he would have backed him just about every time. Hunter, Chick, and they control it through Glass. Just hold it up was the signal from Fletcher. Stenglein In career best form in terms of statistics this year. 18 possessions is his average.
Got a very big forward line, West Coast Eagles. Lynch is back there. Also Seaby, the second ruckman.
That's his 15th touch today, Stengline. Up to the wing. Hansen, flat-footed that time. Gave Bolton the opportunity. Braun, creative by hand. Off to Embley. Puts the foot down. Andrew Embley runs to 50. And... oh, he's got it, has he? He barely raised a sweat. The running power of the West Coast Eagles. And Andrew Embley. We talk about Yard and Kerr and Cousins, but they bat so deep.
They do, and this player, Malcolm, Embley, didn't play against Sydney in the first week of the finals, nor did Kerr, nor did Hansen and Seaby, and making a big difference to this Eagles outfit.
Jude Bolton has a break. Andrew Embley, a game-high 16 disposals. What a goal. He's kicked a couple. Beautiful handball from Braun, and the Eagles get the reply. It's back out to 25. Doyle against Cox. Doyle towards Goods, but Judd's good enough to win it back for West Coast. Pops it over the top to Braun. Kicks to half forward. Embley attacks it. There's Kerr. Gives it over to Selwood. Kirk mows him down. Selwood forced to release. Fosdyke. Over to Buchanan. To Kennelly, who lost the handle on it. Picked up by Braun again. Tackled by Buchanan. Now Kirk to Kennelly. Butler tackles him. And we'll have a throw in.
Yeah, the centre takeaways, centre clearances 10-4, the Eagles leading. I just wonder, just looking at this, I keep saying about making changes from Paul Roos. I wonder if you put Goods in ruck. It's a grand final. You know, he's not exactly killing them, and they're getting killed around the ball. An extra runner on the ground.
Game has certainly gone up in this quarter. Frantic start. Braun's kick. Hansen got the edge.
It's a good point, Malcolm, because Jolly, with just 2 disposals for the game, Cox has had 13. Cox is more like a midfielder once the ball clears the ruck contest. And a tall forward line for the West Coast Eagles. They've got Hunter, who's moved up forward again, Hansen, Seaby, and, of course, the big Q, Lynch. And again, another player who didn't play against Sydney in round 1 of the finals in Ashley Hansen.
Quiet second term, but he made a terrific start to the game. Already 2 goals on the board. Well, kicking for goal can be very crucial in grand finals, Malcolm Blight.
It can. Yep, you get so many chances. But just going back over that, Robert, that Goods has been okay to try and free him up now. And they've got to win the game. They're going to have to kick. Oh, here we go. Got him a kick anyhow. They're going to have to kick another 7 or 8 goals. At the moment, you can't see them where they're coming from.
Nice kick by Goods to Malceski, who can go. He loads up on the left. Davis, one out with Wirapunda.
That was always the worry. Davis on Wirapunda, just too tall, too good in the air. And again, a kick where the Sydney forwards running back with the flight of the ball makes it hard on the defender.
Thanks, Nick.
And that is a matchup that I think John Worsfold's got to look at, because Wirapunda too short to play on Davis.
4 goals from set shots today for the Swans. Nick Davis doesn't miss many. So 2 goals to Nick Davis with limited opportunities, and the Swans are hanging in there. Most decisive piece of play from Adam Goods for the day, I would have thought, Rob.
Yes, and they need Goods, Jude Bolton and Barry Hall to give them something special for the remainder of the game if they're to win.
You just can't overestimate the value of straight kicking in big matches. 31 points it would have been if Hansen had kicked the goal. Instead, it's Davis that was accurate, and the margin is 20.
Just saw a shot of Adam Hunter playing up forward for West Coast. Perhaps he's the player who needs to go back to play on Nick Davis.
Doyle with the second tap. Goods, he mightn't be rucking, but he's certainly roving out of the middle. giving them first use. Suddenly the spring is in the step again. Was it a free kick? It wasn't. Wipunda sweeping and swooping, which is what he does so well. Selwood, Buchanan and Fletcher. They've been there to help each other out today, the Eagles. Fletcher kicks blindly though, and the Swans, we know they can attack well once they maintain and regain possession. Fosdyke kept it alive, maybe a sign of the positive thoughts that are going through the Swans' mind at the moment. They just haven't quite got the ball handling right today. Buchanan, it can come back quickly though. Goods, one-on-one, Davis. He's lurking as a real danger man right now, Nick Davis. Tried to get it off to his teammate Hall. O'Keefe helped him keep it in there. It's always dangerous. High one, Malceski. O'Loughlin. Oh, almost seduced the footy. O'Keefe, good instincts. Likewise, Wipunda. This is great stuff now. It's going up another notch or two. Malceski, relentless tackling by the Eagles. And a ball up in the forward pocket. It's on, boys.
It's on. And I'd say that both teams there would be very happy with what occurred. The Swans looked dangerous, but the Eagles stopped them.
Good starting to lift. 4 touches this quarter. Comes to O'Loughlin.
Your man Good starting to hit some form, Malcolm. They need Barry Hall to get into it. The big fella at centre-half forward just had the 7 disposals, no goals.
Waters goes short and finds Selwood.
Good's on Judd here.
Yeah,
Look out.
have a look at these 2 Brownlow medalists.
Oh, Judd,
Right.
magnificent. To Stengline, chips it short to Wembley, no mark. Following up though is Fletcher. Handball though was poor, went straight to Kirk, got it to Goods. His 5th disposal for the quarter. Dempster lost a handle on it. In there is Kirk to lend some support, ripped it out of his arms. Kicks to half forward. Embley threw his body on the ball. Comes out to the back of the pack to Selwood, who kicks and kicks long. It's not a bad effort. Hansen's in front, pinched by Kerr. Great skills from the number 4. Kerr chips it short and he finds Lynch.
He's a star, Daniel Kerr. Absolute star.
He's not without a chance here. The big cue and the gloves coming off. Great skills, exquisite stuff from Daniel Kerr.
Well, very good reason. He didn't take his eye off the footy. He just had the reflexes.
Kerr coming off the ground.
There's the glove. Gets a huge roar every time from the Eagles fans.
Now he's within range, Quinton Lynch. He's a thumping kick, as we know. He's got 2 so far. It's going. It's going. It's gone. 3 to the big cue. What a kick.
What an improved player. I think that's all we can say about this lad. We all know about the story of last year, but what about that Daniel Kerr gather? But he's a beautiful long kick, isn't he, Lynch? Can't he hurt you from a long way out?
Well, Paul Roos has got a fair bit to counter today. Great weaponry for John Worsfold.
Yes, Banfield's been moved on to Davis. Davis has gone to the goal square. Wirapunda's been benched, and I think that's a much better matchup for the Eagles.
The Eagles seem to have the answers. They've had it throughout the match so far, but the Swans are definitely mounting a challenge in this quarter. But nothing effective. Hacked forward, Fosdyke, they're inside 50. Oh, Chick could have taken the mark. Waters, how's that for Barry Hall right around him? Pleading for a free, and it's going to be a ball up for
He
Brown.
was coming out a million miles per hour, Daniel Chick. Just a reflex action in the end to sink the slipper into it. He left his opponent and just bolted forward, and he was very conscious of filling the space of Hall.
All the spaces to the left of screen. The Swans love to run into it. Davis is a specialist at it. Banfield, Hall. It's still very, very dangerous in there. O'Keefe and Kirk, Schneider, but Butler in the road. 10-8 plays 6-7. Numbers almost exclusively in that half of the ground. Rowan Jones, here comes Hansen. They're to synchronise their thoughts, the Eagles. Fletcher playing well to Embley's very dangerous. Dempster is the perfect man to play on him. Armstrong crushed by Matthews.
No play opportunity, held to him in the tackle.
Oh, they're just good tomorrow morning. If you win, you won't feel it.
Oh, Judd pinched it. Puts it inside 50. Hansen in front. No mark. Armstrong front and centre. Concedes some space. Went back to Jones. Now Butler. He also concedes some territory and finds Selwood, but Eagles maintaining possession. Switches back into the corridor. Braun's been good. Sizzles the pass inside 50. What a kick, and a great mark taken by Embley.
Well, we've seen the skill of the Eagles going forward. Daniel Kerr on the left foot found big Quinton Lynch. And here we see Braun on the left foot finding Embley, and that ball didn't go much higher than head height over the 35-40 metres.
Well, if he kicks this, it's official. The Swans are in big trouble. Andrew Embley has been a good contributor. He's got a couple. He'll only be kicking from about 35 metres out on a slight angle. Oh. Bad miss. 2-2 to Andrew Embley.
Adam
And
Hunter's
West Coast
been-
by 26.
Adam Hunter moved again from the forward line to the back line. He's gone on to Barry Hall. And Glass has gone to the bench.
Matthews, time to recover from his little stumble there. Most of the long options are manned up, but the Swans quite happy to do this. Richards in the back pocket. Came from the Bombers, of course. Couldn't get more than 11 games in a season with Essendon. Things falling apart, though. Braun off the left. Armstrong working. So's Wipunda. Came from nowhere. Still might have a chance. Armstrong, Cousins, time to steady, time to think about it. Not time to kick a goal.
Tim Gossage.
They're working on the hamstrings of Glass and the calves of Daniel Kerr. They did have that rib tickler with Adelaide last week. Are the Eagles starting to feel the effects?
Swans are away. This is Ty Kennelly. Good running as he finds Malceski. A handball smothered. Great stuff from the Eagles. It's right in the middle of the MCG, and we'll have a bounce.
This is the 49th stoppage of the game. We said pre-game Sydney would be looking at 100 plus, so the game not being played on Sydney's terms at all.
Jolly the tap, an ineffective one. Kirk got it to Malceski, who got it over to Fosdyke. A rush kick, but it still finds Hall. Hall finds the run of goods, who pops it over the top. Lewis Roberts Thompson finds some space, and he kicks the goal.
That was an absolute band-aid the Sydney Swans needed. They really needed to come back. It just appeared to be West Coast Eagles dominating the play, and typically in the Swans' way, not a great kick, of course, Barry Hall sets it up. That's an intelligent handball from Goods, and an unlikely goal kicker in Roberts Thompson.
Malcolm, now we know why Stephen Silvani made that emergency trip to Sydney.
He kicked it Silvani style,
He did
too,
kick it
didn't he?
Silvani style. It only went about 10 foot high, just crawled over the line. Doesn't matter, he's got the 6 points.
Rob, we can't be critical.
Cousins off, having a spell. Barry Hall featured in that last goal of Sydney with the handball to Goods, and Goods, Hall involved in the goal. Good signs for Sydney. They need to outscore the West Coast Eagles in this third quarter to have a chance. It's starting to go Sydney's way.
They've got to be able to kick consecutive goals. The only time they've done it in the match is just before and after half-time. Jones, did he get one high? No, holding the ball. So, has the worm turned a bit? Tim Gossage mentioned the power left and the running left for the Eagles after their trip to Adelaide. O'Keefe, here's Roberts Thompson again. Not quite that time. Sauce just behind us in the commentary box had a heart attack. Hunter along the wing, and that was his second of the day, by the way. Now Selwood off half-back. 10-10 the Eagles, 7-7 the Swans. Selwood's been good. Hansen also, Richards, Bolton, Chick. Now it's over and out.
Made up 4 points since half-time, Sydney. Still got a fair bit of work to go. Need to get a couple more goals closer. Set themselves up for the final quarter. Glass back on for Eagles. That's a good sign.
Yeah, Daniel Chick off for some treatment. Jolly, he's got a lift. Oh, his handball went straight to Judd, who found some space, and the Maestro's off. Judd Kicks into space to Lynch. Oh, just getting a fingertip on it was Leo Barry, and it's a free kick for a push anyway. So Leo Barry wastes no time. Here they are, the Swans on the break. Fosdyke's got a paddock. And he's got runners everywhere. He's got Schneider, he's got Goods, he's got Hall. He goes to Schneider. Oh, it was a terrible kick. 3 loose players, and he couldn't hit a target. And this is a vital turnover in the match.
Swans have got some numbers back, trying to provide some safety. Fosdyke worked hard. This is Butler now, out wide for Stengline. It's still reasonably open, and it should be an opportunity for the Eagles to work from Jones's kick here. Lynch doubles back, some space in front of him. Doesn't go, instead to Kerr. And this time he makes a rare fumble. And the Swans, things are just swinging a fraction.
Look at this, they're everywhere.
They are. Richards out wide to the wing. Here's Fosdyke, been pretty good. It's open for Nick Davis up forward. Banfield with him every step of the way.
Brilliant kick, he can make the distance. And the Rowan Jones soft off the foot, moccasin type kick and half forward, shocker.
Moccasin. Moccasins are back.
Soft as a moccasin.
This will just test him. He's a lovely kick, as we all know, Nick Davis, but he's going to have to kick it 55 metres to clear the line.
Well, he's played big roles in semi-finals, in preliminary finals. And a goal then would have been a massive boost for the Swans in a grand final. He has been good today. The margin is back to 20.
This is Beau Waters in the back pocket. You just sense the Swans
get the next goal.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes they've just been on top.
If they can get the next goal, it's absolutely game on.
Yeah, it's a huge 6.5 minutes, isn't it? Late, deep in the third quarter in a grand final.
Swans got the extra man here, O'Keefe, but Rowan Jones, who was sandwiched, did well to bring it to ground.
It's actually time for someone to stand up now and have a memorable moment. Every grand final brings a memorable moment. I know we get a lot in the last quarter, but is it time for one now?
That's the man, Malcolm. It's Barry Hall. He's had only 8 touches and no goals. Well down on his normal output.
Fosdyke couldn't feed it out. He has another crack at it to O'Loughlin, who keeps the ball alive to the 50. Roberts-Thompson playing in front. Here's Ted Richards, who's drilled over the line by Glass.
Now, this is really in the Swans' territory here. This boundary line throw-in. Generally try and flip it back over the top.
Got Barry Hall dropping back to the goal square, and Craig Bolton is now on Wirrapunda. Too short, Wirrapunda.
Well done, Cox.
And there's Kerr again. Selwood and Banfield. Just had to kick to a couple of one-on-ones. Embley still very threatening. Fletcher. Oh, was that a clean possession? Oh, Richards, one-on-ones! Oh, that's 2 in the corner by the Swans.
Schneider and Richards, magnificent work rate to run Eagles down. And he came from nowhere, Teddy Richards.
Just muzzled him, Ted Richards. And now he can go to O'Keefe. Can the Swans capitalise?
The Eagles got plenty in their defensive 50, making it very hard for Sydney to get a player on the lead. Here goes Davis.
Just a little bit too much on it. Nick Davis regained the balance. Perhaps could have grabbed it. It might still end up all right. Hacked away by Kirk. Is it coming? It was coming.
Well, for a season where there's been a lot of posters, that's my first poster today, so that's good to see a poster in a grand final, isn't it?
Except if you're Brett Kirk.
Wow.
So 19 points the difference. A big 5 minutes coming up in this third quarter.
Actually, the intensity, as we said, this quarter's been terrific, but this is where if the Eagles get a goal after being under all this pressure, they'll feel very, very happy with themselves.
Waters shorts it to Selwood.
You can sense it in the crowd too, can't you?
Yeah.
And the Eagles will just be keen to hold things up here and maintain possession. Free kick, advantage paid. Butler to half forward. Rowan Jones won't be able to get there. But the Eagles will take stock. They've got it at half forward. That was for the free kick. Advantage paid. So manufacture something here, West Coast. It'll be a big moment in the match. Kirk. Good tackle, Kerr. Fletcher. Missed the target by hand. Braun's had a good quarter. And did it nicely. Draws the player. Goes over the top to Stengline. To Lynch. Well worked by West Coast.
It's just here, mate, inside the 50.
Is Chris Judd hurt? No, he's going to stay on. Looks like he's favouring a left shoulder.
Yeah, he is hurt. Judd is hurt.
And again, off comes the glove. Now, this is kickable for Quinton Lynch.
Well, actually, Goods went up for a ruck then, and he's got Judd on the way through.
We know he had dodgy shoulders as a teenager.
That was about a million kicks ago.
Yeah, and ever since he's been fine, but Lynch has kicked it on the full. As I said, he had surgery as a teenager, but ever since he's been 100% fine. But let's have another look at it.
Just gets him, I reckon he's just popped his arm and overextended it or hyperextended it.
Canelli finds Schneider. Some of the Swans lesser lights leading the way again today. Bolton, now Roberts-Thompson. Here's Nightmare perhaps turning around. Schneider, Bolton, Roberts-Thompson is in the thick of the action at the moment. And they've got good overlap. Matthews, here's a chance, it's Teddy Richards. No mark. He's got to keep at it though, because O'Keefe and Bolton need a hand. And here is Ted. Oh, what a great handball from the blind spot. Over to Bolton now. Hall. Was it a free kick?
He's been paid by the umpire who wasn't close to the action. Darren Goldsbrig said no.
That's a big call.
Umpire also said yes. And Big Bazza said, I'll take it. Was it over the shoulder?
Certainly got him a bit higher, Rob. There's no doubt about that. But
gee, just a touch, wasn't it?
yeah,
That's not a free kick. That is not a free kick.
Well, it's not a free kick in the grand final quarters. But the big bad Barry's been looking for free kicks this quarter. He's just got to attack the footy.
What a kick for Barry Hall. 19 points the difference. And goal kicking might well tell the tale today. 7-10 to 10-10.
Well, the Swans have whittled back the margin to 18 points. Tim Gossage.
Bo Waters is carrying a left shoulder. He's in this piece of play. He is really struggling with the left shoulder.
Well, the Eagles starting to lose a few numbers. Here is Waters. And he's a tough customer. As he kicks, it's going to drop a bit short. Goods somehow got it to Fosdyke. Sydney again have numbers around the ball. Buchanan sidesteps Cox. Now to Kirk. Kirk goes inboard on. Handball's astray. Fosdyke will follow it up now. Hall bursts through the pack. Splits them open. Gives it back to Fosdyke. He gets it over to Doyle. Doyle found Richards. Trying to weave his way through traffic. Did so. Look out, here comes Big Lynch, who lays the tackle, but too high, said umpire Goldsbig. It's a free kick to Craig Bolton.
Buchanan should have shepherded. Didn't.
geez, they're taking some pressure, the Eagles. The ball has appeared to be in the Swans' half more often than not this quarter.
Gained 7 points this quarter, have Sydney.
Doyle is deep inside the 50, calling for it. Does Bolton go for him? He does. Oh, it almost got through everyone to McVeigh. Here's Doyle, out wide, Teddy Richards. Here's your moment, Ted.
Missed.
No.
Had their chances.
Gee, they all have, haven't they?
He's had a good 10 minutes, Ted Richards, hasn't he?
It's down to 17 points to diff. Eagles just hanging on, ready to regroup at three-quarter time as Banfield drills it long from the side. Here he is again.
He's making the play, this kid, which is just terrific. Attacking the football.
Ted Richards.
Go the top.
Pops it short to Davis. He's got it.
Yeah.
And he is within range now, Nick Davis.
Yes.
So Nick Davis has got 2.
11-point game quarters if he puts this through, and we're just about on the three-quarter time siren. Adam Goods coming off.
It's close. It's close. It's a goal to Sydney. Well, the Eagles now just going to hang on and regroup and get to three-quarter time.
It's a smart play, and it's a play Sydney do time and time again. 65 metres out, just get the pass over the 50-metre line. Put a player within goal-kicking distance. Nick Davis kicked accurately. Barry Hall hasn't. Michael O'Loughlin 3, Davis 3.
Well, this is a team, the Sydney Swans, of course, who had the week off, a team that barely has an injury.
And I just haven't... Paul Roos hasn't yet put an extra player back. That's interesting.
Are they going to finish strongly? The Eagles hanging on by 11. Three-quarter time, can't come quick enough for John Worsfold. Here's Judd. Another little slip. Every moment matters with 40 seconds to go. And it's now the Swans, I reckon, would be happy just to get it to three-quarter time.
Well, they will, Hutto, because they've gained ground. That's what we said at half-time. They needed to get Edge a couple of goals closer. They've done that. They've had the week off through the final series, haven't travelled as much as West Coast. West Coast had that tough game last week, starting to swing Sydney's way.
Doyle doing his best. Matthews, been a good player today. Kirk, O'Loughlin and Chick. And Glass comes in at the crucial moment. 10 seconds.
Yeah, 2 goals 3 to 4 goals 5. So 9 scoring shots to 5. And they're coming.
Doyle got a fist on it. Kerr over to Judd. Looks to recover from the shoulder problem. And what a game have we on our hands. The Eagles are hanging on, but the Swans are coming and coming hard at the final break. Malcolm Blight and Robert Walls. The margin has been cut back to 11.
Just look at the Sydney Swan supporters in the crowd. They're up on their feet. They're waving the flags. They can sense that they're on the way to victory. That was a terrific fight back in that third quarter. But West Coast, they've got plenty of runners there. We saw this fella get injured just before three-quarter time. There's a lot of heart in that West Coast Eagles team. We are set for a fantastic final quarter of football.
We are indeed. Three-quarter time in the grand final of 2006. It's the West Coast Eagles leading the Sydney Swans by just 11 points. Three-quarter time in the grand final of 2006, and looks like we're set for another thriller. West Coast still leading, but now it's just by 11 points. 70 plays 59. Lynch has got 3 for West Coast. O'Loughlin and Nick Davis, 3 each for the Swans. Judd might be injured. He's got 23 disposals. Kirk has got 20. As Luke Darcy and Stephen Silvani, we look at the key legs for both teams.
And Sydney, Adam Good's playing most of the 92 minutes, but Kirk and Goods are their main midfielders. The run they can get is from Sean Dempsey, who can play down back as Jude Bolton, another midfielder that can go into the middle. And
Luke, we'll have a look at West Coast.
Well, Judd's only had 4 minutes off the ground, and Kerr, he's had an interrupted final series. He's had plenty of time on the ground, as had Cousins and Cox. So they're key players. They've been on the ground a lot of the time and haven't had much rest.
We've got some injury concerns. Tim Gossage and Neil Cordy.
Bo Waters spent most of the three-quarter time huddled on the bench getting a heavily strapped left shoulder. He's not going to start on the ground. And Chris Judd likewise, heavily strapped the left shoulder, and players Glass, Embry and Hansen having strong rubs of the legs.
Swans are a man shorter in the running department. Luke Ablett picked up a cork. He's not going to play again, so they're one short.
So get set for a thrilling final quarter in the 2006 grand final. West Coast hanging on. They lead Sydney by 11. Here's Anthony Hudson.
All or nothing now for the Swans and the West Coast Eagles. Will it be back-to-back for the Swans? Or will John Worsfold and the Eagles get over the line? We'll know in 30 minutes' time. And we can't wait. As McVeigh gives Hall and the Swans the first chance. They are going as the Brownlow man. The Brownlow man! Adam Goods. He's got them rollicking in the aisles, the Swans fans. Oh, they can sense it now.
How quick was that?
I think it's about a 10 or 11 second goal.
But Malcolm, the good thing about it for Sydney is that the two stars are part of it. Every other Swan will be lifted by that effort. In front, Hall. Goods on the fly. Goods starting in at the centre bounce. And he's back in for this next second bounce. As soon as it came off the boot, he knew they are pumped.
And, Rob, they've only got 4 in the forward line, the Swans. Right now, Paul Roos is getting what he wants.
That goal took 14 seconds. Doyle starting the final quarter in the ruck. Looks like he's been told he's going to carry most of the load in the last quarter against Cox. A 5-point ball game as Kirk wins the clearance for Sydney. Puts it inside 50. Roberts-Thompson can't take the mark. High pressure stuff now. Selwood. Free kick. Advantage paid as Cousins kicks to the wing.
West Coast Eagles have Hunter and Wirrapunda playing in the forward 50.
Well, Waters has been patched up. He's on the ground. Just 11 points have decided the last 4 matches between these two teams. As Braun kicks to the 50, Hansen can't take the mark. Keeping his feet was Richards. Good tackle, Judd. Here's Fletcher. Ball still in play. Spills to Hansen. Good kick from a standing start into the goal square. Oh, that's a point.
Hit the post. Hit the post.
So it's a goal the difference.
Well, they've got to score, the West Coast Eagles, and the previous 7 scoring shots was Sydney, so they've stopped that run.
Last team to come from behind in the grand final at 3/4 time and win was the Bombers back in '84, that famous win when they were 23 points down and won by 24. Goods had to work extra hard there. Was that high? It was.
Right now, they've kicked 6 of the last 8 goals, the Swans. The Eagles desperate for a goal here. Desperate.
Maybe it's Kerr. No, it's Kirk.
Magnificent.
Goes to Goods.
Kirk bodied his opponent, Wirrapunda, out of the way and stuck up one Duke, and it stuck.
Gee, the degree of difficulty on the kick was pretty high there too as well. But they are back at their best now, running on top of the ground. O'Keefe again, the odds against them this time. O'Loughlin can't prevail. And it's Glass with the numbers winning out. So Darren Glass with the Eagles just hanging on grimly to a 6-point lead. Beau Waters back for Daniel Kerr. Hasn't the complexion of the game suddenly changed? It's the Eagles retreating. They're almost going to have to concede a score here. Embley's going to have to do it. Oh, what a moral victory.
It is a great victory to Sydney, and the reason they hesitated, the Eagles players, because every time they looked upfield, there was a Sydney Swan within a metre of his direct opponent.
Embley comes out wide to Braun. He waits for it to bounce. To the wing, Matthews works his way to the front. Fletcher against Hall. Fletcher loses his feet. Hall doesn't. He's got Kirk in support. Good tackle though on Hall. Kirk, head over the footy. Got it to Kennelly. He's tackled by Wirrapunda. Throw in.
Oh, don't you love this? This is real keep stuff now, isn't it? This is the traditional West Coast Eagles Sydney Swans clash we've become used to.
Chicks labouring off the ball. Tap beautifully to Judd. Left foot kick into the pocket.
Malceski running with Kerr, McVeigh running with Cousins. Adam Goods going with Chris Judd. Got some magnificent matchups.
Watch for the set play here. It's Cox against Doyle. Cox taps it down, but it was read by O'Keefe. Picked up by Lynch. It's right in front of the West Coast goal. There's about 10 players around the football. And it's not going anywhere, so the umpire will bounce again.
And you can see Paul Roos working overtime. Barry Hall's gone down in the defensive 50 for Sydney.
Judd is waiting at the bottom of this pack. Cox with a tap. Maybe it's going to be Kerr. The shackle's off for Kerr, but he just couldn't bring enough. In fact, he's missed everything.
Tim Gossage.
Daniel Chick's the latest to succumb to cramp. He's come off the ground. They're working on his calves. He's struggling.
As the ball's down this end here as we watch this kick. Here we go.
Got to go back. Got to go back.
Nick Davis has won out virtually in the 50-metre square down the other end. That is a dangerous situation for anyone to be in.
Well, he's on Drew Banfield, Malcolm, and Nick Davis kicked 2 goals in the 3rd quarter to take his total to 3. And good coaching by Roos to isolate him there.
Again, they give Richards the space. No one on the mark. And he finds Dempster. Got the job of trying to nullify Andrew Embley at the moment.
Oh, look inside, son.
Tunnel vision. Along the line he went. He went to the height of Jolly, but great run from Glass. And the mark is paid.
Eagles kicking into the sun, Malcolm.
I've been out there in grand final day, Rob. It does make a difference.
Embley did well to get boot to ball to half forward. Richards against Hansen. Hansen kept it alive. Richards over the top of it. Free kick going West Coast way. So Hansen kicks it inside 50. Hunter sets himself. No mark. Goods front and centre. Pinched it off the pack. Kicks back to Hansen and Richards. And everyone takes a deep breath with the West Coast Eagles in front by 5 points.
They've had 8 of the last 9 scoring shots. The Swans 3 goals, 5 to 1 point. Again, it's Big Doyle, who hasn't done a bad job as they've tried to double-team Cox, who's been in the ruck for most of the day.
Doyle's been good, Hutto, because Darren Jolly struggled, and there's the forward 50 setup that Malcolm mentioned. Davis inside on Banfield, and you can see Davis saying to his teammates, stay away from me, give me this space.
The wrestle is on again. You can hear the crowd as Cox goes for Hansen, Richards. Cousins wants it.
That is a mark. That is a mark.
Did you anyone touching that for yours? Oh, that's it. That's it, mate. Spot on mark there.
Gee.
It's a mark.
All right, Ashley Hansen. Last year, Lewis Roberts-Thompson did the job on him in the grand final, but today he's had some crucial shots. You can see 2 goals, 1. The Eagles are on the back foot. They lead by 5, though. They need Ashley Hansen. And he needed to kick a lot straighter than that. It's a 6-point ball game at the MCG.
2-2 to Hansen.
Stephen Quartermain, did I hear you nominated a tie?
Oh, you're going too early with that, Malcolm. Let's wait another 10 minutes. Kirk. Long ball to half forward. Dempster caught behind. Embley did well. Snaffled by Rowan Jones. Glass has had a beauty as he kicks to the wing. One-on-one contest. Richards won this one against Hansen.
Been a great contest, this. Ted Richards going on to Hansen.
Richards loads up. Goes back inside 50. There's 2 Eagles there. And taking the mark is Kerr. An un-Sidley-like entry into the forward 50 there. As Cox goes short to Selwood.
Yours, mate.
Chips to the run of Waters. And Beau Waters at half-back. 20th disposal. And his kick finds Butler.
Just loosening the tie a bit there, Malcolm.
Yes. Big finish coming.
It's tight, isn't it?
Yeah, everywhere you look, man on man.
So Butler gives it plenty. Too much for Lynch. Oh, Barry just didn't complete the job. Hunter, the troubleshooter, doesn't quite have enough on it. Ripunda, Kennelly, safety first. You can't blame him at the moment. It's going to be one of those finishes where mistakes are going to be just as important as the positive stuff.
So the West Coast by 7.
Adam Goods on a fast break. Judd has to go with him.
In the middle of the ground, Rob.
Yep, he goes short to Matthews. So Matthews at half-back. Got some room to move. Kicks out wide to the members' side. Looks for O'Keefe. Ball bounced off his chest. Snared by Fletcher. Rowan Jones under pressure. Bowled over by Jude Bolton. Hot handball for Fosdyke. Coming in is Craig Bolton. Somehow his kick found McVeigh, and he's off. McVeigh on the right boot. Pops it up inside 50. Davis caught behind Banfield. Banfield tries to hack it. Now picked up by Schneider. Good tackle. And below the bounce.
Good body work, Banfield, because he was in big trouble with that ball coming in on top of Davis. Puts the body, the strong body of Banfield into Nick Davis, caused the spill.
Look out, here comes this ruck work in the forward line, Swans.
Doyle got it out. Kerr's there, so is Selwood. Fed it to Cox. Waters to Embley. Kicks to half-back. Cousins dropped the diving mark. We'll have a throw in. It's West Coast by 7.
And Barry Hall back in the goal square. Glass his opponent.
They are straining every sinew at the moment, the West Coast Eagles, just to hang on in there. Butler met Goods. Bolton, O'Loughlin. Judd only had the one touch so far in this last quarter. Finds a way. And it's on the wing. Teddy Richards and Lynch. Kerr's there for him. Wants a longer and hopefully a better option. Barry with the shove. Was it a free kick? No, the mark paid.
Lynch moved out to centre-half forward, Hansen back to full forward, and we saw the big Q take part in that.
Saw him do that last week against the Crows, Robert, in that very impressive last quarter. He was terrific out there.
This fella has the ability to kick these tight-angled goals.
Here's Hunter.
But not this time, Hunter.
No, not this time.
Nice build-up, Robert.
Well, both teams have really struggled in front of goal.
You just feel that the crowd tensing up.
Yeah.
Ben Cousins just 4 disposals since half-time.
Repeated last year. The Swans won the grand final by 4. The Eagles will be hoping it's a different story today, but you sense there's just going to be a kick in it.
He's run 80 metres to get that kick. Young legs, fit, healthy, wants to get the footy.
So Dempster's told to play on. Kicks to a contest. Roberts Thompson's there, Hall's there, Glasses there. In front was Embley.
Hasn't been a goal since that Adam Goods start to the quarter, and the Eagles haven't kicked one since the 11-minute mark of the third.
One-on-one all over the shop here.
Jolly's on for a run. Matthews. Oh, Kerr. Brilliant again. Now it's got to be clean here. He's going backwards. Now they break. Brett Jones is broken. And that is a superb kick from Daniel Kerr. Again, magnificent skills. Brett Jones worked overtime to get that one. To Stendline. Now Selwood. Back to Butler. To the wing to Hansen. Good mark in front of Barry.
Presented well.
Gee, isn't it hard work for both sides? Movement of the ball. It's what we expected between these two sides. The Eagles came out in the first half, though. They were all over the Swans. And the Swans have hit back. 7 points the difference. Tight everywhere you go. Fosdyke sees it safely over. He's had another good game. 19 possessions for Nick Fosdyke. He had 26 in the grand final last year. 10-13 plays 9-12. Just one goal so far in this last quarter. Fletcher, that was slick stuff. And again, Braun, who's been prominent. A high one, Roberts Thompson coming to try and spoil Hansen. Cousins, the little gift, now Goods. He goes through the middle. There's a man on, and it's Dempster. He lets fly. Here comes Nick Davis. Banfield did well the first time, did well the second time, and did well the third time. Embley, Selwood, and the Eagles continue to hold the Swans at bay. For how long, we don't know.
An enormous win there from Drew Banfield against Nick Davis.
Well, twice he's been caught one out, twice he's taken the honours as Banfield. Eagles prepared to go back before they go forwards, particularly with their handball, keeping their composure.
Past the halfway mark of the final quarter. The kick from Waters has been taken by Kennelly for the Swans. Can't get rid of Rowan Jones. Handball comes to Jude Bolton. Leading out wide is Dempster. Waits for the bounce. He's against Rowan, Brett Jones, picked up by McVeigh. McVeigh on the left, squeezes it out into the pocket, but it's marked by Andrew Embley. Embley to half back, and this is Rowan Jones.
Fletcher in space on the wing. He's got to move it on quickly. Too slow.
Opportunity went past him. And the Eagles, who are just looking stagnant, but they are being very brave at the moment. The Swans with 9 minutes to breach the 7-point gap. Ted Richards, 150 to 1, I'm told, for the Norm Smith before the day started. Probably still won't win it, but boy, he's had a good day. Goes to Hall, who's been quiet. Pushed towards the line by Glass. Tight stuff, Armstrong. Here's Cousins, streaming forward, trying to lift his team. Hansen, Barrett. Barry comes out there, hitting it hard, the Swans. Some very tight old bodies out there.
But just at the moment, there's hardly any run from behind. Anyone gets the footy. So a lot of players just say, really gasping for breath.
Well, the Eagles are answering the challenge at the moment, deep in defence. Kirk. And the mark's taken by McVeigh.
Eagles got extra numbers back. And that's why hesitation from the Sydney players.
Jared McVeigh.
They might go inboard because they look forward and there's just plenty of blue in front of them.
Yeah, sometimes though, you eventually got to go long, Rob, don't you? If you can't hang on it all day.
And O'Keefe is the man.
Jeez, they just need Barry Hall to take a contested mark.
It's exactly what you're looking for now in a grand final.
Easier said than done as he goes inside 50. From the side was Roberts-Thompson. Schneider! Schneider! Schneider!
Oh. Well, it wasn't a contested mark, but it was a great crumbing goal. Sometimes you've just got to go forward to score, and good coverage there from Jude Bolton and a wonderful shepherd. And on his right boot, a natural left footer, composed himself long enough. Wow.
Schneider has brought Sydney to within 1 point. Front and centre, the right foot kick. It's the Eagles 73, the Swans 72.
Daniel Chipp's just come on, gone to the goal square. Ashley Hansen taken off, looks absolutely exhausted.
Cox got both hands to the tap with the ball in the hands of McVeigh. Jolly, here's Schneider. Swans on a high, out to half forward. Nick Davis, I trapped it well, but nowhere to go. Just a bit of hesitation from the Eagles, but Kerr doing it on his own. Some help from Selwood. Daniel Kerr, individual effort, absolutely superb. Virtuoso stuff through the middle. He took on too much in the end. Judd trying to help out. Play on the call. Stengline, the hurried one. Got to be tough. Armstrong steps up. Steps up in the best possible way and punches the air.
You've got to say the effort of Daniel Kerr set that up, was prepared to back himself and be bold and run and carry and draw opponents, got the ball into the Eagles forward line, and it was a 50-50 situation taken to advantage by Armstrong. Daniel Kerr, you are a star.
For 4 years, Stephen Armstrong was a demon playing here. But this is his finest moment on the MCG. Off the rookie list for the Eagles. He's put them back 7 points ahead.
Adam Goods for Sydney. Puts them inside 50. Hall has been very quiet. O'Keefe, run down. Kept the ball in play. He's on his wrong side. Right O'Keefe, now on the left. Straightens up towards goal. And they go through! O'Keefe's got it! Sensational goal! It's back to a point the difference. Eagles in front.
The fast break from the centre bounce. It was Adam Goods who got it out. O'Keefe gets back onto his left foot. It goes through 4 players. Amazing.
No, it's an invisible wall. Look at it. They can't see it. Isn't that amazing? You couldn't believe that no one could touch it. Unbelievable.
Adam Goods instrumental in 2 quick breaks from the centre bounce in this quarter that set up goals.
1 point the difference. Cox, Kirk, and they're forward again. Wipunda. Who's going to get a handle on it? Stengline, Wipunda, Embley. It's the Eagles' turn just to try and keep control. He's got Armstrong working at half forward. Didn't trust to try and go to that one-on-one. Instead, he went longer. Kennelly worried Kerr out of it. Kerr will not be denied. What a player. Goods, Kurt, over the top Judd, and Darren Goldsby calls for it. 6 minutes to go, 1 point the difference.
Stephen Quartermain, you might be right.
Did we expect anything else with these two sides over the last 2 years?
Kirk over the top, he's got to push.
Well, he won the free kick through sheer desperation. Got there first.
Kirk out wide, Goods has worked hard. Adam Goods kicks into the pocket to O'Loughlin. Leads his opponent under the ball, but backing up is David Weir-Punda. To the wing, Armstrong pushed in the back, umpire said no. Cox has rucked virtually all day. Stengline to Judd, Judd over to Waters, needs to kind bounce. It's a high tackle. Free kick, no doubt about it. The Eagles hanging on for grim death. They're a point in front.
Umpire down. Umpire's running backwards and run over Ben Matthews' feet and has hit the ground.
Umpire Goldspink's down.
Well, just play on.
Now the umpire, Brett Allen.
He's tough, Goldie. He'll fight on.
That's how he's gone over Ben Matthews there. I saw that, and
It wasn't Ben Matthews' fault, was it?
No, Seagulls.
it was just
Ruck change while all this is happening. Cox coming off. And Doyle coming on with Seaby.
Kerr on the bench.
Waters to Brett Jones. Out wide to Braun. Here we go. The 5-minute warning. The Eagles lead Sydney by a point. Could we have a draw? I'll go with it now as the ball's kicked to the 50. Huge pack fly. Stengline. Buchanan put the head down. Got it out to O'Keefe. Kick smothered. Chick. Hunter. Eagles by 7.
oh, you wouldn't be but the little things. Everyone talks about the 1%ers in footy and the little things. And a smother. So we watch this in replay now. Ducked his head. Quick kick. Great smother.
Well, who else but Daniel Chick? Not only the smother and the shepherd, and that's what Daniel Chick is renowned for. The hardness, the smother, full body smother. Sets it up with a handball, then puts the shepherd on. The complete bit of 1% play. Well done, Daniel Chick.
You almost think that the way this last quarter's been going, the Swans will get the next one. I mean, that's just the way it's been. They certainly need it.
Adam Goods in at the centre.
You can't keep Hunter out of it. The old South Melbourne supporters who got so much joy last year, and the Sydney supporters as well. They'll need their team to dig deeper than they ever have. Doyle trying to do that. Hall, we've hardly seen him today. But he's come to he made another mistake. McVeigh, no damage really done yet. Still could be. High one, Kennelly into Leo Barry's pocket. But this time, it's a West Coast Eagle taking the mark. And it's Beau Waters.
He wanted it. He threw himself. He wanted it.
Mightn't be as famous as Leo Barry's, but that was an absolute corker.
About 4 minutes or so to go. Was that touched?
Oh, look at that. One-on-one. How good's this? This is going to be hard.
75 metres out from goal. Swans trying to get the break. Fletcher wrapped up by McVeigh. Had eyes in the back of his head. Beau Waters, youngest man on the ground, kicks it out to the wing. Lynch left it behind, then played for a free. So Kennelly, and he'll try and get the Swans going. He's got to turn the right way. Now he has. Barry back to Kennelly. Running on empty. They all are. Schneider to centre half forward. Teddy Richards, Malceski, Chick. Oh, he's got it, Teddy! He touched the boots of James Hird once when he was struggling at Essendon. Is there any magic left on the boots? Into the pocket. He just about found the man, O'Loughlin, not quite. Dean Cox got a bend deep. Did he drop it? Play on. He's still in trouble. O'Loughlin there to swoop. It's still alive for the Swans. Bolton's coming. He's still coming. Bolton. Buchanan was there waiting for it. It's a hot ball in the pocket. He's still going, Buchanan. Out to Malceski. The young man, Nick Malceski. He's kicked it. Oh, there's 1 point in a pandemonium at the MCG.
Oh, wow. Well, they had to get it. The game deserved another goal from the Swans. John Worsfold and Paul Roos look on. This is unbelievable. This, I think, if you took 2 teams over a 2-year period to play this tightly, has never ever happened in the game of football before. This is one of the all-time classics against 2 great teams.
Amon Buchanan, absolutely brilliant in that passage of play. Got the low ball, fired out the handball to Malceski. Malceski on his favoured left foot was never going to miss that one. What a vital centre break we have got in front of us.
I'm as nervous as hell, can you believe it?
The Eagles have been in front all day. They lead by a point.
The Eagles have only got 1 forward. Sydney have got about 8.
Cox the tap. Goods against Judd. Chick has been superb. Just smashes it forward. A goal here would seal it for the Eagles, but it's a free kick to Sydney. Got to come back.
How long to go, Hunter?
Well, if all the Eagles have pulled back, Robert, at least that's happened.
You idiot, Robert.
They've got nice bit of space. They've got a line of players down the middle, Sydney, so they've got space to break to wide. Here they go.
Bolton. A long kick. Oh, it's marked by Kirk. He plays on to Richards. He's got to pump it in now. No time for the fancy stuff. Ted Richards. Left foot kick. It's on the full. Free kick to be taken by Glass.
And they're cramping up on both sides at the moment. So is the umpire. Back to the wing. Adam Goods still going to have a say in this game.
Move it on.
Look at him go. Adam Goods as long as he could. It's a low ball. Oh, it's Embley.
What a great mark. Eyes on the ball, Embley. Eyes on the ball before that. Waters. Courage shown by these Eagles. Desperation.
Very short to Banfield. No hurry for the West Coast Eagles. They are praying for the siren.
Look at Braun.
Braun
Look at
getting
him
away.
run.
Braun on Kirk. Got the 10-metre break. They've just got to keep possession, the Eagles.
This is where you just need to run on hard.
Braun to the wing. Bolton and Hunter. Not that time for Adam Hunter. Maybe this time, though. Judd, a fumble. Kirk. Did he draw some high contact? Here's Daniel Kerr for one more say. Was that a free kick? They can't stop him. They do in the end with sheer numbers. 29 minutes gone. The Eagles by 1.
Well, the last time a grand final was decided by a point was the 1966 grand final. St Kilda beat Collingwood. We've got to throw in.
Eagles have got extra numbers back. Eagles have got 3 extra players in their defensive half. And that's something that they didn't do in that last close game against Sydney.
Cox against Doyle. And another stalemate.
Well, the Swans have got to do it. The Swans have got to roll the dice. Someone's got to stand 10 metres off this pack and just hit it and take a punt.
Let's get it out. If it's down there, don't hold on to it.
So once again, it's Cox against Doyle. Ball spills free. Back of the pack is Cousins. Cleverly done. Ben Cousins has a bounce, backs himself. Handballs to Fletcher. Eagles maintaining possession. Kerr goes into the middle. Here's the moment for the Swans. Leo Barry's in there. No one taking a backward step. Lynch just manages to get through to ball. Waters keeps it alive. Waters is dog-tired. Now O'Keefe. The ball comes back to Waters. Now picked up by Fosdyke. Fosdyke's got to get it moving quickly. Kicks to the 50. Dempster's there. Can't take the mark. Glass will see it over. Throw in.
There can't be long. There cannot be long to go. The West Coast Eagles lead by a point. Can the Swans do it? Siren! Who would have thought the sequel would be just as good as the original? The West Coast Eagles are the premiers for 2006, and the Stars, Cousins and Chris Judd now have the medal they really want to put around their neck.
12 years of disappointment over for West Coast. They have won their third premiership in history, and this time the heartbreak is suffered by the Sydney Swans.
Emotional day at the MCG.
1992, 1994 for the West Coast Eagles under Mick Mulhouse, and now 2006 as we go down to Tim Gossage.
Chris Judd, you won a Norm Smith, you won a Brownlow. Is this the one you wanted?
Oh, absolutely. This is what it's all about. It's just a fantastic feeling.
Can you believe the margin? I mean, just another titanic battle. You were out on your feet.
Absolutely. I mean, Sydney are a great side, and you know we've got a lot of respect for them. So to win like that, it's just absolutely sensational.
You're on the greatest stage of all, mate. This is your greatest moment.
Oh, absolutely, without a doubt. Fantastic.
Good on you, mate. Congratulations, Neil Cordy.
Lynch, you missed out last year. How's it feel this time, mate? In your boys' dream, this is to play in the grand final. You know, to get up by 1 point, another great game. Oh, it's fantastic. Personally, a great effort with the goals you scored. Yeah, no, I just had to come out and try and get a couple today. It's going to be low scoring and just do my part for the team and just wrap to get away with the win. Awesome. Well done. Back to Tim Gossage.
Daniel Kerr, what a game, what a year.
Yeah, it's a great way to finish a really interesting year for us, and to win the flag's a dream come true.
How much did this time last year drive the boys? Avenge, revenge, call it what you like.
Oh yeah, we didn't really need too much more motivation to be in a grand final. I mean, we experienced the hurdle last year and we were very close to experiencing it again. And it's just testament to the boys, the way they kept on going.
And the build-up was all about, oh, your calf, were you fit? Doesn't matter now.
I was actually a foot. It wasn't even the calf, so I was just letting it go.
A foot injury, you had us all juked.
Yeah, this is pretty funny.
Well done, Daniel. Neil Cordy.
I got Dean Cox, super game. How you feeling? Oh, I don't think words can describe it. We've worked so hard to get here. To the boys' credit, we fought deep and we got away with that. That's all we've been chasing all our lives, and it's here. So close again with these two. Yeah, I know. You can't get much closer than that. They got us last year in the prelim, so it's good to get them back. What's the difference today? It's so close. Yeah, I don't know. I suppose just the effort that the boys put in. I reckon in the AFL skills are very similar, but it's just the effort, and our boys work hard all the time. You might be a shot for the medal too. Well done.
Ben Cousins, what a year Ben Cousins has had. Controversial start. Now he's finally got that elusive premiership medallion. The last 5 games now between these teams decided by a grand total of 12 points.
Stephen, you read the irony of this. Last year, the Eagles beat the Swans by 4 points at home, come out and lose the grand final by 4. The Swans win the game in Perth by a point, come to the MCG and lose.
Great moment there for John Worsfold and Paul Rhodes. Woosh's win as well, Worsey. He was brave today. He made those moves he wanted him to make, and a few more as well.
He did a terrific job, the West Coast Eagles coach. There were moves there that we haven't seen done before. It would have caught Paul Roos by surprise, no doubt.
Let's go back to Tim Gossage.
I've got John Worsfold here. You're twice here as a captain. What's it feel like as a coach?
Well, it feels, for such a great game, and to have been involved in a great grand final last year and a lose, and to be involved in another great one and win, I think that's sort of compounded the feeling.
What about your thoughts on the siren, John?
Yeah, just elated for the boys. They've worked so hard. Everyone does. Every team works hard, but they've really knuckled down the last 4 or 5 years, and they had a vision they wanted to achieve together, and that's still ahead for us. We still want to work towards that, but today obviously is about being the best side for this year.
I think any flag's a great flag, John, to be involved, to be on this stage. Where does this rate in the life of John Worsfold?
I'd just say proud. I've never been this, I've been this proud before with my family, but for these guys, Chris Judd shouldn't have been able to stay on the ground like he did, and just to lay tackles with his shoulder, absolutely gone. The way they fought out, Mickey Braun and the boys, they just keep working.
You are the proudest man in town. Well done, mate.
Thanks very much.
Neil Cordy.
Yeah, got Darren Glass. Didn't get Hawley straight up, but yeah, you spent a bit of time on him.
Yeah, we tried to mix it up a bit and try to get work off him a bit. So, but I knew I was going to end up on him for a fair amount of the day.
How are you feeling?
Exhausted, mate. Exhausted. So, just a lot of hard work goes into it. It's just relief now.
Those last moments when you had the lead by a point, what was going through your mind then?
Just focusing on what I had to do, really. We have our structure, we have our team rules, just sticking to them and just concentrating on what was necessary.
Well done.
Thanks, mate.
Right, back to you, boys.
Wasn't that a magnificent shot in the coach's box, guys, with John Worsfold? There's the other side of the table.
Well, look at Paul as he's gone to every single player just to give them that little bit of encouragement and sympathy.
There's always got to be a loser, I guess. They were magnificent, Sydney. It was an amazing game of football.
We were close to the draw, weren't we?
We were, but Sydney kicked 4 goals in the first half. West Coast Eagles kicked 8 in the first half, and then it swung around. We saw a terrific fight back by Sydney, kicking 8 in the second half. West Coast Eagles just kicked the 4. That's the man, Daniel Chick and Adam Hunter. They combined for that goal when Chick put the smother on and then got the handball out to Adam Hunter, put the shepherd on. It was just a wonderful bit of football.
Let's have a look at the reaction on the siren. Two contrasting scenes. There's Chris Judd. As I said, he's done everything in football already except win the medal. And look at Adam Goodes, the Brownlow medalist, just distraught. As we go down now to the presentation, and the AFL's Master of Ceremonies, Craig Willis.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we commence our formal presentations, let us firstly thank the Premier Partner of the Australian Football League throughout season 2006, Toyota, represented by David Butner, the Senior Executive Director of Toyota. Well, the Sydney Swans have had a magnificent season and were gallant in defeat today. Let's show our appreciations for the efforts of the Sydney Swans here at the MCG. I'm going to ask one of their co-captains, Brett Kirk, to come to the dais to say a few words.
Firstly, congratulations to the West Coast Eagles. We've got the utmost respect for you blokes. We've developed such a great rivalry. Well done. To the red and white people that have followed us, whether it be decades or days, you push us to great heights. Thanks very much. And to my band of brothers, we're a team of warriors. We never gave up for a second. Well done, boys.
Thank you, Brett, co-captain of the Sydney Swans. And each member of the team will receive a silver medal as a memento of a wonderful season, and also, of course, participating in this wonderful grand final today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the stage former Essendon champion, a man who won the Norm Smith medal back in 1984, Bill Duckworth, to present the Norm Smith medal to the player adjudged best to field in today's grand final.
The winner of the 2006 Norm Smith medal is Andrew Embley of the West Coast Eagles.
Fantastic all-around game from Andrew Embley. 26 disposals, 6 marks, 4 inside 50s, a clearance and 2 goals too.
And what about that courageous mark in the last few minutes on the last line of defence?
Firstly to Sydney, you're a great side. We certainly understand what you're going through, and I know there's going to be a lot of big games against you in years to come. To our boys, just one of the best groups I've ever worked with. Credit to ourselves, the character we showed, our work rate and our intensity that we showed all year. Boys, well done. And last, to all our supporters here today, unbelievable.
He's actually had a throat problem.
He's got his voice back.
Yeah, it's coming
Well
back.
done, Andrew Embley, the Norm Smith medalist here for 2006. Of course, it's every young footballer's dream to be here on this dais on the last Saturday in September. And ladies and gentlemen, it is with much pleasure that we welcome 22 participants from the AFL Auskick program who will now present medallions to the winning team. And the West Coast Eagles, firstly, number 4, Daniel Kerr.
What a magnificent performance. Daniel Kerr revealed he had a foot injury, but he was superb today, 20 possessions.
And time and again, he ran and bounced the ball and just set the forwards
number 5, Tyson Stenglein.
23 disposals, 6 tackles for Stenglein, the best tackler in the team.
Yeah, and formerly with the Crows too. Just while Tyson gets that, the most common winning margin in our game is
to
1
number
point.
6, Drew Banfield.
Equal longest time between drinks of premierships for Drew Banfield in history. 12 years between his first and second.
And what a way to go out. This will be his last game, you'd suspect.
Did a terrific job in the second half when
to
moved
number
on
7,
to Nick Davis.
Chad Fletcher.
Had 25 disposals. 7 clearances.
He'd been down in form,
to
but
number 8,
delivered
Bo
today.
Waters.
Talked to the media during the week, Bo Waters, about that dream of winning the grand final in the backyard, and the youngest man on the ground today.
Number 9, Ben Cousin.
What a year he's had, Malcolm.
Well, yeah, I think if you look back in February, March, or whatever month, or April, or whatever it was, he's a little genius, isn't he?
Michael Braun.
22 possessions for Michael Braun. He missed last year. Need we say more?
Number 14, Mark Seavey.
Didn't have a big role today with Cox doing a sterling job in the ruck. Nevertheless, he's got a premiership medallion.
Well, he didn't play against Sydney in week 1 of the
Number
finals.
17, Daniel Chick.
Made his debut all those years ago in 1996 with the Hawks.
This will be sweet for Daniel Chick. Went back to Western Australia, and we will talk about his effort in the last
Number 18,
quarter for years to
Rowan
come.
Jones.
13 disposals today for Rowan Jones.
Number 20, Dean Cox.
Oh, he's a beauty. Wow. The 5th midfielder.
Yeah.
20 possessions today for Dean Cox.
Number 21, Quentin Lynch.
Did his job.
Made a difference.
3 goals.
He's only 23 years of age, one of the most improved players in the AFL this year, and looking forward to seeing him play for the next 7 or 8 years.
Darren Glass.
Didn't he lift? Glass.
You'd have to say he took the honours against Barry Hall. Barry Hall didn't kick a goal.
Number 26, Sam Butler.
Another one of the youngsters who only had a couple of possessions last year in the grand final, but did his job today.
Number 29, Ashley Hansen.
Set it up early, didn't he, Rob, for West Coast?
Absolutely. Led hard. Looked very tight. He's very ginger right now.
8 marks, Malcolm, most of them on the lead-up.
Number 32.
What did you think of the Norm Smith medal?
medalist,
Perfect.
Andrew Embley.
The perfect call. Yeah. In fact, actually written down. I thought he was a certainty.
Number 35, Stephen Armstrong.
Talked earlier about being in the Bali bombing, and he had his calf shattered. He's fought back. What a sweet moment.
Number 37, Adam Selwood.
26 disposals for Selwood today, Rob.
Yeah, Selwood's been a very good player for the Eagles all year. He gets the tagging jobs most weeks, and young Victorian country boy from Bendigo.
Brett Jones.
Had a good final series.
I like this fella. He can play on any sized opponent.
Number
Courageous.
39, Adam Hunter.
Took him a while to get that goal, but it came at a lovely time late.
44, David Wirpanda.
But he got through the game and got through well, didn't he?
13 possessions for Wirpanda.
Popular player with the West Coast Eagles, been there for a long time.
Number 3, captain, Chris Judd.
What a wall for Chris Judd. Carey, Hurd, Voss, Treadray, Hall, they've all lifted the cup here in recent years, and Chris Judd is certainly not going to be out of place when he does that in just a moment.
Gentlemen, would you please welcome four-time Premiership coach, the great Alan Jeans, to present the Jock McHale Medal to the coach of the 2006 AFL Premiership team, John Worsfold of the West Coast Eagles.
What a magnificent career. We've talked about it, captain and now coach of his beloved West Coast Eagles. All the success has been at the club while he's been there.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have great pleasure in inviting former West Coast Eagles champion, four-time best and fairest winner, Glenn Jakovich, to present the Premiership Cup to Chris and John. Let's hear now from the West Coast Eagles Premiership captain, Chris Judd.
Firstly, I think if you measure your victories by the quality of the opposition you defeat, then this ranks incredibly highly, because we've got a huge respect for the Sydney Footy Club, and they did another great job today. So commiserations, but well done on a great year. Secondly, just to our fans today, there was just heaps of blue and gold all around the city, and again in here today. Just been fantastic all year, and we appreciate it. And thirdly, to our players and to the whole football club, you know, anyone who's got anything to do with the club, a little piece of this Premiership Cup's yours, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as we will. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Chris Judd. And let's hear now from Coach John Worsfold.
First of all, on behalf of the West Coast Eagles Football Club, thanks very much to the Sydney Swans Football Club for another awesome grand final game, and I'm sure you all enjoyed it. On behalf of myself and the players, I'd certainly like to thank the Chairman and the CEO, Dalton Gooding and Trevor Nisbet of the West Coast Eagles, for their support and helping us achieve what we've achieved today. To all the other coaching staff, to all our support staff that are all out here, just a magnificent team effort to get us where we are. To Steve Woodhouse, our football operations manager, who's really stuck hard and helped us get where we are. But most of all, to our sponsors, SGO and Hungry Jacks, and our supporters, thank you very much.
Thank you, John. Congratulations once again as our premiers for 2006. Enjoy a lap of honour of the MCG.
So there you go, the third premiership in history for the West Coast Eagles, just the fourth grand final in history. In 110 years, decided by just the 1 point. Robert, Malcolm, you've been around a lot longer than Anthony and I. How did you rate that one?
Oh, just a marvellous game. And the things you remember, the Chick's mother, the Waters mark in the last quarter, the Embley mark back there in the back pocket, the desperation, they just hung on. They gave it everything, and you have to admire what Sydney did as well. They were so close.
You would have thought, Malcolm, maybe halfway through the last quarter, you thought Sydney might just get over the top.
Yes, look, it certainly looked that way as we look at that very happy group. That's one of the great shots in footy, isn't it?
Yeah.
That'll be shown for years to come.
Amazing courage, wasn't it, from West Coast in the last 10 minutes?
I'd have to say, there were so many tired players on the ground that it was ever just held their nerve, and I think the Eagles probably, not by a point I mean, but just occasionally held their nerve. just a shade better than what the Swans did.
And the run of Cousins, Kerr and Judd, not to be unexpected, but marvelled at once again.
Proved the telling factor in the last few minutes, do you think?
I think it did. I thought Daniel Kerr was sensational.
Since 2001, the Cup has now been to Queensland, South Australia, New South Wales, and now back to Perth.
Lovely. Victoria, it's coming back to Victoria very soon, Anthony.
So the Eagles flying high in 2006 in one of the best grand finals you would ever see. What an amazing rivalry these two clubs have now over the last couple of seasons. It could not have been any closer. Well, it could have. It could have been a draw. We almost got there.
You got it wrong, Quarters. Admit it. You're stuffed up.
The Eagles have got home by a point. 85 to 84 at the home of football, the MCG. One of the most dramatic grand finals in football history has seen the West Coast Eagles defeat the Sydney Swans by the narrowest of margins. 1 point, 12-13-85 to 12-12-84. For West Coast, Lynch kicked 3. 2 goals to Wembley, Hansen, and the other multiple goal scorer was Ben Cousins, while for the Sydney Swans, only 2 men kicked more than 1 goal. That was Michael O'Loughlin and Nick Davis, who both booted 3. Let's go back down to the ground. Tim Gossage.
Ben Cousins, you look like you're just reflecting what you've just achieved looking around this ground.
Yeah, it's surreal. Another great contest. Got a lot of admiration for Sydney, and you know, it feels like it's been a long time coming, and we had to do it the hard way, and it's just sweet.
John Worsfold wanted you up on the stage to get a piece of that cup. You are the spiritual leader. Don't worry about that.
Tony's been from the front all year. Bush is a champion. It's just dream come true.
Now, you said last year what you said on this stage when you were beaten. Is this now the end?
No, not quite. I guess, you know, I wasn't fibbing.
You weren't, and you also said if you won it, the celebration would be frightful.
Yeah, well, frightening. Not far from the mark, mate. Frightening.
Enjoy it. Congratulations to you.
Thanks, buddy.
So there's the West Coast Eagles out on the ground. Let's have a look. It's such a fine line in footy as we look at the reaction. Robert Walls and Steve Silvani and Luke Darcy as the siren blew.
What a sweet moment it was for the West Coast Eagles. They deserved the win. They've been right up there the last 2 years. Got there by the narrowest of margins. Had to admire the efforts of their running players, particularly when they looked like they were down and out. It means a lot to Ben Cousins. He's been with the club for 11 years, didn't play in the Premierships back there in 92, 94, started in 96, played with a lot of Premiership players, and now he's a Premiership player himself.
And a great way for Drew Banfield. I think it's fair to say he'd wind it up after he won a flag in 94 and now he's got one in 2006.
It's a fantastic way to finish your career, and I thought he did a really good job, Banfield, when he was moved on to Davis late in the game.
Andrew Embley won the Norm Smith medal, but gee, that man must have been far behind Luke Darcy. Dean Cox.
He was outstanding, Quarters. His first half, 13 disposals, 17 hit-outs and 5 clearances, which was the leading clearance player on the ground. Did a reasonable job, Darren Jolly, in the second half, but he's as good a ruckman as going around the competition, Dean Cox.
Go back down to the ground here at the MCG. Neil Cordy.
Yes, I'm with Stephen Armstrong. Stephen, 4 years at the Demons, and you're out in the wilderness. How does it feel to have that medal around your neck?
Amazing. It's been a long year, and to get a premiership medallion, it's the best feeling ever.
I can imagine. That goal, take us through it. Very important one in the last quarter.
Yeah, I got a good bounce and it went through, and a little bit of a celebration, but like I kicked it.
I noticed you got a scar on the back of your leg there. It's a long way from Bali, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. 5 years ago, and I suppose this is to Bali and all the victims that we lost during that time, and enjoy it with me and enjoy it with us.
sausage.
Daniel, this is what you play for, mate. You got the Premiership Cup.
Yeah, it's taken me 10, 11 years to get there. We just fell short last year, and you beauty.
You are the Mr. 1%, the smother, the shepherd, the handball, the goal.
No, I just got to do what I've got to do, and I like to say hello to everyone back in Mooneymeyer. This is for you.
Well done, mate.
Daniel Chick, an amazing story. He suffered some heartbreak in his personal life. But you were full of admiration for him, Robert Walls, I know.
Oh, just wonderful. The smother at that stage of the game, I think it was Ryan O'Keefe who got the boot into the football, but he was prepared to smother it with his body, with his head, didn't matter what, just stopped the kick, quick to recover, gave off the handball, put the shepherd on, enabled Adam Hunter to kick the goal. Just wonderful football.
We're analysing the game as we go, boys, but just looking back to the qualifying final in Perth a couple of weeks ago, it was Sydney 85, West Coast 84. Today it was West Coast 85, Sydney 84. How close can these two teams be? 12 points now, decided the last 5 games.
We talk often about how brave Sydney are, Rob, but this West Coast team's very brave. We only have to go back a week ago in Adelaide where half-time they were probably 3 or 4 goals down and they came. They knew that Sydney were going to come today. They were able to hang on. Sydney had their chances, but this team, and I'll just rate for Chris Jardine and Ben Cousins, they're champions. They deserve a premiership medal.
Yeah, and I reckon, Luke, the West Coast Eagles, their window of opportunity to be right up there, it will continue for another 4 seasons, whereas I'm not sure Sydney will go that far. I think Sydney's been at their best the last couple. This team is still a young, developing side.
Yeah, it's a good point, Wolsey, when you've got Kerr, Cousins, Judd, Cox, they're all young players, and you know, Stengline, look at some of the guys there, Hansen, they've got a lot of footy left in them, but right off Sydney at your own peril as far as I'm concerned. They've got some older players, but when they've got the character and the courage that's going around up there, they'll be a good side, I reckon, for the next few years as well.
So look at the amount of photographers in the West Coast Eagles rooms as they're just grouping around now, getting ready for their club song. And it'll be 12 years since we've heard it sung this loud, as they're telling the photographers to get back.
Well, they want to sing the song and just have the players and the staff in
Cuts
the circle.
in the middle. And here they go. Let's go down to the rooms.